This is our impromptu, formal, informal, whatever you want to call it, introduction to conversations. We want to have a conversation, and we want to invite people to share what's on their heart. Whether it be a testimony, whether it be a truth, whether it be a word or a subject matter that they feel concerned about, that they're worried about. We want to have, as it were, a conversation. We want to talk about the things that mean something to us, that give us direction for conversation, that inspire us to ask Jesus to sit with us. That's why we leave 2 chairs empty. One for the Spirit of God and one for God Himself, Jesus, to be here. So we want to have a conversation with people sitting here. We want to discuss those things that mean the most to us, that maybe would inspire us by sharing stories, sharing truth, sharing facts as we relate them. So conversations may have at times, as it were, testimonies. Sometimes it might be about something that's bothering a person, or something that has really become a big subject matter, or maybe a big discussion matter that possibly we can have a conversation about, like politics, or religion, or faith, or the nature of God, or something else, maybe even just about raising children, or having families, or being married to a minister, or things in the ministry. Or even conversations we don't want to have about personal items and issues that really affect us. As a matter of fact, as this conversation grows, we have other chairs that are seated just off camera that we would like to involve more people. That if we can get people to come in on, say, maybe a certain night, we would broadcast this live as a conversation. We could have people come over and discuss topics. So I hope that this is the beginning of something good, something new, something that I, as a moderator, can help people to open up and share, to relate, to care, to dare to be there, to share something personal and intimate, something real, something that gets to them and they're willing to talk about. And I hope that we can do that in a very open way, that we'll be able to bring that conversation into VidDevo, to share that with you on the internet, to do it live, to do it recorded, to do it canned, to be very candid about our conversation, but also very honest, very truthful, and very real. So I hope that this introduction will inspire you and make you think about what you could do. After all, I brought my little buddy with me. That's Boo Boo. At least that's what my wife calls him. You see, there's a big story behind Boo Boo, and maybe one of these days we'll tell you the rest of the story. But I'm married because of that bear. I mean, that bear literally got me married. I mean, there's no way around it except to blame it on the bear. The bear did it. That's all I can say. The rest of it, you'll have to ask my wife. And she's going to be our first guest on Conversations. Is that our first VidDevo Conversations will be with Lori Stone. And she'll share whatever's on her heart or whatever I can pry out of her lips, as I'll have to ask her questions and see how far we can get, because she doesn't like to talk to people. At least most people don't realize that, because she's very much a conversationalist. People come to her and talk to her. They talk at her. They don't draw her out much. They don't realize that she's not a person who participates in women's Bible studies or goes to things. But once you unlock the door that holds her heart, you begin to see where she's coming from. And she's a very intelligent and intuitive woman. She has very interesting insight. She's been given words of wisdom and words of knowledge at times that she can cut to the quick of where someone's coming from. As a matter of fact, she's worked with several pastors in the ministry and seen things that basic believers don't normally see, and she's made some very interesting observations about them, and maybe she'll talk about that. Maybe she won't. Some other time, maybe we'll get into those kinds of observations and things that happen in ministry. But most of all, I just wanted to have a conversation. I want to have our coffee made when we're ready to do this. We'll be able to share and relate, to enjoy the fellowship that we're going to have in communication as we have a conversation with you and with whoever the guest may be. And in this case, that guest is going to be Boo Boo and my wife, Lori Stone.